Hi everyone, and welcome to VEDA, April 18th. I'm just out going for a little walkie. Now that I can, I have no excuse. I was going to walk over to our local scrapbook store, but I thought to myself, get a few of these walks in first. I tend to get overzealous and try to do too much too soon, and then I stop. So I think I'll just try doing a few walks around the block first, and when that becomes easy, I will walk to the scrapbook store. Hi everyone, I'm back from my walk. I was gonna walk and talk, but I was exhausted. Not exhausted, but I found that I couldn't walk and talk anymore like I used to. So yeah, it takes a while to get back in shape, but it also, it doesn't take so long to get out of shape, but the flip side, it also doesn't take so long to get back into shape either. So that's promising. So I had bought a brisket the other day, and then I heard somebody say, I don't know if it was on Facebook or YouTube, that they were making brisket and cabbage. It might have been Natasha, because I know she cooks some yummy, yummy, yummy things. So I am going to make some brisket and cabbage before I go to the scrapbook store. I'm in a swap, like I mentioned, at Your Paper Pantry, and it's a secret swap, so I can't say who my swap partner is. But I want to go and get some things for her, and but I thought I'd just peel some potatoes and vegetables, onions. I like sweet potatoes more than white potatoes. I don't really like white potatoes. They're okay if they're stewed or they're covered in sour cream and bacon and masking that it's potato. So it could pretty much be anything, oops, under all those toppings. But anyway, but I just want to talk a little bit on a serious note. Last night, just before I was going to bed, I turned on TV just to see if there was any updates on the Boston bombing of the marathon. And so my eyes, they were like deceiving myself, because I see this fire and this explosion on CNN, and I'm like, what? And then I realized it is that Texas fertilizer plant. And I just thought to myself, how tragic, all of these things happening at one time. It's just, you know, after the incident where the children were shot in the school, and then the Boston Marathon thing, and now this, and these poisoned letters being sent to the president and to other officials in Washington, and it just made me just sort of take pause and just think, what the heck is going on? Like, what the heck is going on? Like, I know we all were kind of joking, and this is just my opinion, about the end of the world and the world coming to an end at the end of the year, 2012. But there are some people on the spiritual realm who live more of a spiritual people, the people that went to the Mayan Riviera wanting to just see the changes or to feel the shift on a completely different level. They do believe the world ended and that a paradigm shift took place, and those of us that were left behind to get it are exactly those of us that have a more greater understanding about loving humanity and loving one another and reaching out for one another. And I really believe that is true. I believe whether it's an accident, like the Texas fertilizer plant appears to be at this time, an accident, or the horrible bombings and the school shootings from the cancerous people that are in our society, I believe those people are few and further between, and these things our reaction to how these things happen as a society just show us, we just seem to reach out more and more and show more love and more caring and more compassion for others. And it got me thinking, like, I'm in Canada. These things are not happening in Canada yet or now. Never say never, right? But we feel like there are no more borders. Like it's just what happens to another country affects us. I know one of our clients was saying that she has relatives in Israel, and how unfortunate the bombing is, but she said for the people in Israel, this is everyday life. And it just got me thinking that why is it? We're never going to get rid of these cancers in society, I guess. But if there ever is a silver lining, you know, they say there's always a silver lining, is that watching people reaching out to each other, putting down their borders. You know, maybe at the end of all of this, that's what it's all about, and that we'll all become one, and there will be no race, no color, no sex, no creed. Like, it'll just be human versus human. I think it is so interesting and amazing that you and I, and part of our YouTube community, our little world that we have, can actually feel love for one another, and we've never met. And I mean, there's so many of you out there that I really feel love for and care for, and I worry about you, and yet we have never met, have never touched in the, you know, in the flesh. Like, we've never, ever met. I used to be one of those believers and thinking that, you know, online relationships, how ridiculous could that be? How could you ever get to know anybody that well online? But yet here we are, this strong group of women here on our little YouTube community. We get it. We get what that's about, that how, yes, you can get to know people very, very well. And I just wish and hope and pray that, and I do believe that that kind of love and feeling that, you know, we put out to each other, even though we don't know each other, it's the same feeling I feel for the people that were hurt in Boston, and the people that are suffering in Texas, and the people in Israel, and the people in Africa. And sometimes it can be overwhelming, like the worry and stress and the empathy that I feel for people, that it's kind of like, it kind of halts you, like, what can I do? But I think as I was walking today, I was thinking the one thing that we can do is we just can keep continuing to show love in little ways. It doesn't have to be hugging and kissing, but just reaching out, saying hi, watching each other's videos, commenting on the videos. You know, that's just my big rant for today. So Richard just came to the door, and he brought me, there was nothing in the house for lunch, so he brought me this thin and crispy spinach roasted vegetable and goat cheese pizza. I'm not going to eat the whole thing, that's for sure. So, yeah, looks good. And it's 40% less fat. And it sounds like a perfect kind of a lunch. Oh, it's not even that big. Look. I still wouldn't eat the whole thing, but it's really thin crust and just vegetables on it. But it looks really good. So I'm going to pop that in here. And by the time I get my vegetables ready for my brisket thingy, my pizza will be ready. So I'm just putting in sweet potatoes, an onion from our garden, and cabbage. I'm going to make like a bed of cabbage. All the recipes I've seen, they say cook the cabbage later on, but I love cabbage when it's been slow roasted and all the spices and the juices are soaked into the cabbage. So I think I'll just quarter the cabbage. The funniest thing, this is why Richard just came home, this is why it's so funny. I'm like, I've got this brisket, and I heard whoever it was say they were having corned beef and brisket, or sorry, brisket and cabbage. And so I get everything all ready, because I knew we had a cabbage in the fridge, and I get everything all ready, get my veggies out, and start thawing out my brisket. And I open up the fridge, and I'm like, where's the cabbage? How can you hide a cabbage? Like, where would one, if one were a man, where would one put a cabbage? Because I knew it was there. So then I called him at work, and he goes, oh, I threw that cabbage out. It'd been in there for too long. I'm like, cabbage doesn't really go bad, but whatever. He said it was. So he said, I just am on my way out of the office, and I'm going right by the store and right by our house, so I will bring you a cabbage. To which I added, could you pick me up something for lunch? So yeah. So now I have a nice fresh cabbage. I'm going to get all this finished. I've never made this before, so I have no idea what it's going to taste like. And I am going to just use that Paula Deen seasoning that I'm always talking about. You know what? I'm going to put the link to the recipe for that, because it is outstanding. It sounds so basic and so simple. I'm just rinsing off these veggies. There. I want to show you how I store mine. I have it in this. Just this, like this retro, it's metal shaker, so all the blend is inside of here, and then we keep the rest of it in a mason jar. But it's honestly all the seasonings that you would ever need for basic seasoning, like a salt and pepper, garlic, salt kind of seasoning thing. And it's amazing. I use it on absolutely everything. It just sits on my stove, and that's what I use. And it's the perfect blend. And Paula Deen swears by it. It's so funny, when I first heard about it, I thought it was going to be like, what's his name? Who did BAM? What's his name? Emerald Lagasse. I thought it was going to be this combo of BAM spices. And then when she said it was just salt, pepper, and garlic salt, which I usually use fresh garlic, I was like, that's not going to be that good. But honestly, it is like the best all-purpose kind of seasoning salt, I guess you would call it, except it's not red. So I'll put the recipe in the down bar for you guys, or the link to the recipe. And then I'm going to get this all cut up and get my supper on the go. So I'm off to my local scrapbook store. Yes, I did want to say a really nice goodbye, though, and thank you for watching. And I'm kind of measuring how far the scrapbook store is from my home. It's really not that far. It's just right by that Enjoy Center. So right now we've gone 1 kilometer, which is just under a mile, which is a good walk, but not going to kill you. I bet you it's no more than 2 kilometers from my house. So on a really nice day, that would be a nice little walk. So yeah, I'm going to go see what goodies I can find, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And I will let you know what my brisket tasted like tomorrow. I'm going to go see if I can pick up some nice goodies for my swap partner. And I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Bye.